Hey, thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. This is a wonderful day for me. I have a friend from
Hello.
Sussex, England, who is here, Bonnie Woods.
Hi, Tori.
Hi. Show them your t-shirt
Oh,
first of all. There
Free
you go,
Barbara.
Free Barbara.
Can you see the back?
And it says, ask us how. Yeah,
Right.
very good.
Yep.
All right, so she's going to talk about this and let us know a little bit about what that has to do with. So first of all, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing for the last 20 years, just in a nutshell?
Well, we're a Christian ministry called Escape. My husband and I have been doing this kind of work for 22 years. I was a long-time Scientologist, and when I came out of Scientology, I decided to speak freely about my experience.
Yay!
And bit naive and put my telephone number and things into everything I said, thinking people could just call me up like a helpline. And Scientology took exception, and so we spent probably 7 years in court.
Oh my gosh.
Libel stuff.
Wow.
But in the end, it was all good because I sued them for publishing some really nasty material about me, and I got a settlement from the court and a public apology.
Yeah, she got a fabulous justice cycle that happened. It's amazing.
It's good to say you're sorry.
Yeah, it's good to say you're sorry. And truthfully, I don't think they can say anything. The church can't say anything bad about you, right?
Because the church decided that they didn't like my leaflet called What the Scientologists Don't Tell You, we had to be in court for many years proving every sentence of the leaflet was true. Like a sentence
Which
like,
it is.
Scientology is a bogus religion.
Right.
So we had to prove it was a bogus religion. So I had a really clever girl, a barrister, which is like a big solicitor in England.
Right.
And she said, Bonnie, what could we do to prove it's bogus? She said, I know. We'll make them put into evidence all those secret levels.
Right.
They won't want to do that, but that's only fair. And the judge said, yeah.
They asked for proof.
Exactly. The judge said, guess what? You got to give her those. Now, now
that's the difference in England and America.
Well, the judge in England who decides that gives him a little break. He gives 24 hours before he makes the ruling. He says, this is what I'm going to say.
Right.
Just in case you guys would like to get together and call it off. So he said, I'm going to say Mrs. Woods has worked 3 years with her lawyers to get all this information to prove these things, and now you want to quit? Well, you can quit. But if you quit, then I'm going to let her lawyers write up an injunction to say, a court undertaking to say, you can't sue her anymore.
So there you go, Scientology. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's really a good thing.
It's a good thing.
So now we've got this situation with Barbara Cordova.
Yeah, we do.
And how did that come about?
Well, we get lots and lots of phone calls from families, and we've helped over 1,000 families. We stopped counting how many families. And I happened to be not feeling very well, so I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and this email came through, desperate email, from a family member saying that their cousin had been taken by Scientology, and they were really worried about her. They hadn't seen her since December the 12th, and they were worried that she might be in trouble because she had actually come home to her mother's house, apparently on the way to Tennessee with her husband, and yet when she got to LA airport, she called her mother, said, please, Mom, can I come home? Now, we're not talking about a young person here. We're talking about someone slightly younger than ourselves, who I think is about 54, Barbara.
Right.
And she's been on staff for 40 years or something.
Wow.
At Celebrity Center. So she says to her mother, please, may I come home? Her mother says, of course. When she gets home, her mother's worried. She's really hysterical. She's worried about being disciplined or punished or something.
Barbara is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so her mother, it got so serious that her mother was so worried that they called an ambulance and they took her to a psychiatric unit in LA.
Okay.
And then, of course, after a couple days, there had to be a decision made. Should she be kept there or would she be allowed to go?
Right.
And what happens? Scientology sends some kind of a delegation in. I would expect it would have to be a lawyer, her husband, and they have a health plan of how to take care of her.
A health plan.
And where might that facility be? Tennessee.
So they said that?
Yeah.
Or they said it's...
They said they had a new facility And I believe it's the one in Tennessee. But you know more about that, Tori.
Okay, I forgot to write it down, but it's on Tony Ortega's site.
Yeah.
Which if you haven't joined Tony Ortega's site, I highly recommend it. It's called Tony Ortega Underground Bunker, and you can Google that, and then just sign up with your email, and then every day he does all kinds of stories on all kinds of things. But he did a story about this and named the Tennessee Center. And a couple of days ago, I was at a friend's. We read it on Tony's site, and I thought, let me look it up in Google. So I looked it up, and there was the phone number. So I thought, all right, I'll call him. And I got Mark, who's the guy who runs the center. And at this time, we really didn't know if it was Scientology or not. Did it have anything to do with it or not? And so I started talking to him, and he was pretty, questionable about me. Like, who are you? And I said, I'm Tori. And he said,
well, that should have been enough for anybody.
Well, a lot of times it is, but he obviously hadn't gotten the memo yet. And so then I said,
yeah, you should join the blog.
Yeah, join the blog. And so then I said, I'm Tori. And he said, where did you find out about us? And I said, on the internet, which is true. Tony Ortega on the internet. And then I Googled his site. So at that point, I think, this is my guess, I think he kind of went into maybe this is somebody I better be nice to, right? And I was kind of like, I want to find out some information. So he said, okay. So I said, do you use any of L. Ron Hubbard's technology at all at your center? And he said, some. And I said, some? Because that sounded a little, like that was a little like, it's usually they do or they don't. So I said, some. And he said, well, we are board certified by the Board of Mental Health. And I said, really? I said, are you a Scientologist? And he said, yes. And I said, no, wait a minute. I have to get this straight. From what I understand, Scientologists are completely against psychiatry and, quite frankly, anything to do with mental health that has to do with the mental health industry. They'll say, and I know this because when 9/11 happened, underneath George Bush was, if you want mental health, call 1-800-for-truth. And I was on the internet at the time. I said, that's the Dianetic hotline. And we called up Fox News. They immediately took it off. Greta Van Susteren is an OT8 who works at Fox News. So I'm sure she got it on. Yeah. So then I called the 1-800-for-truth saying, what the hell are you guys thinking of? And they said 1-800-for-truth. And I said, look, come on, give me a break. You're trying to preach that you have mental health when you're 100% against psychiatry?
Yeah.
And this is what she said. Dianetics, modern science for mental health.
Whoa.
Just like complete, talking to a robot.
Well, that's funny, Tori. You know what's funny? In England, psychiatrists often call me to help them if they have a Scientology member who's had some sort of a psychotic break.
Sure.
Because they don't really understand it.
Sure.
And time after time they say to me, Bonnie, why does Scientology hate psychiatry so much? Why do they complain about mental health practitioners and not want anything to do with it? And we have a lot of difficulty with the patients because they don't want to be in any kind of facility.
Right. It's part of the brainwashing.
Yeah. Well, and they say, Bonnie, I don't want to be here. I don't like psychiatrists. Now, it's puzzling to me that Barbara, who was clearly in need of the right kind of treatment, having had a psychotic episode, Scientology now has a health plan, a facility for mental health patients.
That is certified by the Board of Mental Health. It's scary.
I don't understand.
And I asked him. I said the same thing. I said, I don't get it because I understand Scientology is against psychiatry. This was his answer. Well, people go into nursing homes as consultants. People, chaplains help with mental health. Yeah. So that's how it is.
I see.
So that's... It's a tricky line in this country.
Absolutely.
Because in truth, it's absolute fraud. Because it's faking that they're a mental health thing when in truth they're running the Church of Scientology's BS. Yeah.
Well,
but I asked him. I said, "Do you do the Purif?" And he said, "Oh yeah."
Oh wow.
So they're it's a Scientology front.
I mean, having a psychotic episode and then being in a sauna for 8 or 10 hours a day, I don't see how that mixes myself.
I can't say that that's what they did originally.
Yeah.
We don't know, and we don't know for sure that she's there, and that's part of this video. For any of you that are watching it, we're trying to, there's the thing 6 degrees of separation. We're literally within 6 people, somebody knows somebody, right?
Sure.
And so you might think, well, I don't have anything, to say about this. I don't know Barbara.
Sure.
And you don't know Barbara,
Well,
but one
I'd
of
like
you
to.
out there, I have 11,000 subscribers. I have 2 million views on my videos. So if you guys would just pass on this video, put it on Facebook, put it on your YouTube site, Twitter it. We're just trying to find out, where is
Twitter
Barbara
it.
Cordova? Who knows her? Does anybody know her that can say, I was her friend. I know who she is. That's number one. We need to find people who know her, and then we're going to try to find out where she is. Now, the Church of Scientology, what you could do is call me. My phone number's on the internet, and let us know, because that's a fair thing. Now, I know my last video, we were at the Church of Scientology Celebrity Center, and of course they treat me, as they have for 30 years, like a leper, even when I was in, because I have epilepsy, so I've always been like this, like, ooh, Tori. And now it's like, even though I'm in What is Scientology also, so that's typical Scientology hypocrisy, where I'm in What is Scientology, but I'm also the devil. So go figure. I say to people, you don't have to believe me, you don't have to believe Bonnie.
No.
It's one of those things where the information is on the internet. All we're trying to do is find out, where is this lady. If you haven't looked at lisamcpherson.org, go there. I'll put the link in the comments, but I want you to realize this happened. This is a real thing that happened to a Scientologist who just wanted to leave. That was it. And she kind of flipped out. They locked her in a room for 17 days. She's dead. We don't want another Lisa McPherson.
No way.
That's all we're saying. And
No
I don't
way.
think the church does either. So frankly, to the Church of Scientology, you really, really would be smart to let these people who help families, they've helped over how many, 1,000?
Well, we stopped counting over 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have helped people. So, let them help Barbara.
Well, what I thought was, and my husband, he thought, Bonnie, you want to go to California? For what? And I said, well, I want to go and find out how to free Barbara.
Yeah.
And then when I got here, everyone...
Show them your T-shirt
everyone,
again, just
everyone
in case.
liked my T-shirt. I was in Trader Joe's. I'm
Move
sorry,
over
this is...
your-
Whoop!
There you go.
This is an advertisement for Trader Joe's. And the clerk said, by the way, before you go, who's Barbara?
There you
Right?
go.
And I said, well, Barbara isn't someone who's really, we feel is suffering, and we would like to get her out of a dangerous cult that's holding her captive. And he said, is that Scientology? And I said, well, he said, what are you going to do? I said, well, we're going to go over. He said, to the blue buildings. I said, yeah.
Right.
And I said, we're going to wear T-shirts. He said, well, I haven't got one. I said, well, you could make one.
Right.
I like purple. If you want to make red, orange, green,
The messages.
whatever. The message is
and-
free Barbara.
And show her the back.
Yeah. Ask me how. But when you make yours, you see, when I was having all my trouble with the Church of Scientology, the girl in my heart was Lisa McPherson.
Right.
So I would like to say, free Barbara now, not another Lisa.
Right.
Not another Lisa.
Yeah.
But if you come along to our demonstration, wear your own creative T-shirt.
There you go.
Come out here, and we're going to say, free Barbara.
Right.
Now, if Scientology decide to have a change of heart, let our Barbara out, give her back to her family, we'll all demonstrate and say, thank you, Scientology, because you're never going to let this happen again.
Right.
And we all win.
Right.
Don't we?
There
Tori.
you go.
Tori's going to, I can't wait to see Tori's new Free Barbara T-shirt.
There you go.
Because I thought, well, not everybody can afford T-shirts. My husband said, how are you going to get all these T-shirts? I said, everybody's going to make one. Their own T-shirt.
There you go.
And I've got an invitation you can give to your friends, and Tori will help me because I'm not very technical.
Right.
But I've got it ready. You can grab it off the internet, print it off.
And she's going to have a free Barbara website.
Well,
some
I
people
am.
are going to help you with
They
that. Yeah.
surely are.
And then you can get because there's an invitation, and then John Atek is making up a...
Well, John Atek is an expert on Scientology, and he has written a leaflet for me, which you can give to your friends. But most important, we don't have a lot of money for printing.
No.
So take it off the internet.
Yeah, and print it.
Print off as many as you can.
Yeah.
Give it out.
Yeah.
Give it to 10 people. Say, these are expensive. You know why? Because I want you to take this one and print as much as you can. Give it to your friends. So everybody says, free Barbara now. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your wonderful help
Well,
with
I'm
all
glad
the
to be here.
families. And
And
let's.
come see us 1st of February.
That's right. We're having a picnic.
We said maybe 1 o'clock.
Okay.
In case people want to go out for brunch first
Sounds
or something.
Good. That sounds
1
good.
o'clock. We might start at the Blue Buildings, but Tori tells me it could take us anywhere. We might end up Celebrity Center. Where else might we end up? I don't know.
HGB or the testing center.
The Scientology Center of your choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll probably post it closer to it. And Scientology, you're welcome to have
Absolutely.
to put up all of your movie phony things and stuff like that, which they always
If
do.
they want to have a T-shirt that says "We found Barbara and here's where she is,"
there
we
you
want
go.
to hear about it.
Or have Barbara there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we have we can get her to.
Otherwise, Tori and I would probably quite enjoy it, but we might have to go to Tennessee.
I won't be going to Tennessee,
Nashville.
but
You never know, Tori. We might want to front up in Nashville.
All right. Well, anyway, please pass on this video
Bye.
so that we
Bye.
can somehow find this woman and honestly help her, because time is of the essence. It is.
It is.
So there you
Free
go.
Barbara now.
Free Barbara now. And look in the links for any links there, and I'll add them as she gives them to me.
Okay.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah, thank you.
And thank you guys very much. All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, don't tell me that we weren't recording. Oh, no.